Good afternoon, I'm Marina Myberg from South Africa. This is day 3's do-it-yourself activities, focusing on arrays and manipulating the arrays. I've done all the different questions in the do-it-yourself activity. Good afternoon. I combined all the activities in the do-it-yourself in one program. I defined the empty array or list, and then I defined several functions to do the required things. The first one is to generate the random list, to put 10 random numbers between 1 and 100 in my list. I deliberately used a for loop, and then I returned my list. The reverse order, I used the slicing method for lists, and then I returned the reverse list. For maximum, I also used the max built-in function and returned that value. For total list, I didn't use the sum my list. I deliberately used a for loop with first principles to use the total 0 and add the numbers one by one, and then I returned the total. Then for the average, I used the sum and the length functions for lists, and I divided the sum by the length. And then to display the list, I used a for loop to build a string with semicolons in between. I know I can use the return my list just like that, and then it'll have square brackets and commas, but I built my own string here. And then I had a function found to look for this value in the parameter in my list, and then it returns true or false. Now I created a menu to do all these various things, and I used a while loop to validate my input. So if the value of choice is not one of the values in the menu, I display invalid option. So I repeat the loop until I get a value in that option list. And then for each option, I used a simple print statement and called the functions. So I called random list to create the list, to display the list, to reverse the order, to work out the maximum, to work out the total of all the values, and then to find, I first ask for a value here in the main program, and then I send it to the function. I send that number that was entered here to the function, and then if true is returned, I display an appropriate message, and if false is returned, I display a different message. And then if you choose X, that was for the average. Again, I just called the function here. And then if your choice is E, I end the program. Let's test it. So first I press A to create the list, and I can see the list here. And then obviously if I display it, I'll get exactly the same list. And then if I reverse the order, now it's not changing the original array, it's just displaying it in the reversed order. You can see here it ends with 89, there it begins with 89. Then to display the maximum, the maximum is M. And the maximum is 89, and you can see that is true. And then the next one, the total number, so it's T. Total of all the values is 455. And then check if a number is on the list. Now let's first check for one that is actually on the list, like 89. So I'm choosing check, so it's F for find, and I look for 89, and it says the number 89 is in the array, and then if I put something else in, first find, and then I'm looking for 77, and 77 is not in the array. So the checking of the number works. Display the average, that's X, and as expected it's 45.5 if the total was 455. And then to exit, I press E.